Moriore te whānau, no mai hoki mai. Welcome back to the practice run, your frontline pass to the heart of sports action. Brought to you by 99 Dreams, inspiring others to chase their dreams. With your hosts, Tukuerangi, Rawiri, and all of our friends. We're diving deep into the thrilling world of the NRL and Rugby League today, and who knows where the game will take us tomorrow. From the try line to the sideline, we've got you covered.
So strap in as we tackle the big plays, game-changing moments, and the stories that define the legends. Whether you're a seasoned vet or this is your first hit up, the practice run is for everyone. Every run, every tackle, and every win. Experience the rush with us.
With exclusive insights, couch analysis, and a touch of humour, the practice run is here to keep you entertained, informed, and part of our practice squad. Because here, every practice run takes us one step closer to glory.
The Practice Squad, where every listener is the MVP, powering our play every episode, every day. I want to give a huge shout out to our listeners near and far, and a massive mihi to 99 Dreams for powering our passion. Now let's kick things off with today's lineup.
Yeah, Chair, welcome back, whānau. So you might have heard a slightly different voice. You might see a slightly different face, and you'd be thinking at home, that doesn't look like Vince. That doesn't look like Tu. Nah, so Tu's still away. He's got another party. Fans of the show, they know that Tu's been a bit of a party animal lately. At a 21st and a weekend. Weeks before that, he had another party. He's been all around the motu, and today he's got another birthday party. So unfortunately, he can't be here with us on this Thursday afternoon. However, we've got the brother Tai. He was supposed to step in on Monday, but things happened. So glad to have the brother on the show with us here today. So without any further ado, te iwi, I'll hand it over to Tai to give us an intro as to who he is and what he's about.
Kia ora whānau, malolele, bolavanaka, konnichiwa, bonjour, and everything in between. Whānau, as you said, I'm helping out the bro Ra today. Was meant to be here on Monday, but aroha mai, we made it regardless, on island time or whatnot. Even though I'm Māori, but there's our people too. We can pick up some things. Coconut cream, island time, love it all. Not bad. But yeah, a little bit about myself. As I said, my name is Tarongo. I hail from the mighty land of Hastings, Flaxmere, in the mighty Hawke's Bay, but a whakapapa back to a little further up Murupara, for those who know, a bit of this, a bit of that, yellow and red, we keep it in the head, no worries. But yeah, back to you, Ra.
Yeah, hey, awesome, man. Glad to have you here. And for those who don't know, Tai is a big Storm fan, so again, no extra Broncos supporters. However, we still have yet to find that Manly supporter. We're still yet to find that random South guy. So, yeah, look, welcome to the practice squad, bros.
Oh, man, you won't find a South fan.
100%.
I remember the times where you would always see a bloody Rabbitohs jersey everywhere. Now they're nowhere to be seen, gone like COVID.
Facts. Hey, but whānau, you all know what we do here at the start of the show. Just because Tu isn't here doesn't mean that we can't get it started off on the right foot.
Aye.
You know the drill. So we have a little thing here, my bro, that's called Paper, Scissors, Rock. Just how any Paper, Scissors, Rock game goes. I go 1, 2, 3, shoot. We go off camera just in case of a little bit of lag, and then we pull it up. A lot of integrity into this game. Whānau, if you're playing along at home, let me know if you beat me the other day on Tuesday's episode. So let me know. Otherwise, are you ready, brother?
Always.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, shoot. And up.
Hey!
Nice. There he goes.
A-Town.
There he goes. I got the scissors. I got the paper. Nice work, brother. Nice work. Well, hey, because you won Paper, Scissors, Rock, I guess that means you can lead us out on today's activity, being the winner. So in today's lineup at the iwi, we have a little bit of an NRL Tic-Tac-Toe kind of thing. So we need 3 correct players in a row. And we just guess current NRL players that correspond with that particular bracket. We'll explain more about that once we get into that game. And we're also going to go over this weekend's previews. It is round 11, which means it is Indigenous round at the iwi. And tonight's game, too, if he was here, he'd be hyping up tonight's game. He'd be all about it. But unfortunately, he's not here, so ka aroha e te iwi for those, especially, it's round 12, sorry, by the way, not round 11, that was the last round, but yeah, Indigenous round, and the first game tonight, Thursday night footy, is Bulldogs versus the Dragons, so we will dive into all of the games for round 12 this weekend. We'll close out the night with our TAB donations. We always pray and hope that one day we can win some practice money from the TAB, but so far we're just donating, brother. That's all we can say about that, is we're just making donations to the TAB
practice
at
betting.
this point. Yeah, practice betting. We should really give up. And remember, whānau, responsible gambling, please. If you can't afford it, don't do it, because I'm telling you, it ain't worth it.
Say that again.
But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, look, we'll get started into this little tic-tac-toe game. So how it is we've got 9 squares, exactly how you play knots and crosses or tic-tac-toe, except in the left column going down, you've got storm-related players. In the center column going down vertically, so the storm one is the left vertical column. The center vertical column is state of origin players. In the right vertical column, we've got current Bulldogs related players. In the top horizontal column, we've got Broncos related players. In the center horizontal column, we've got premiership winners, and in the bottom horizontal column, row, shucks, they're rows. Columns are the up
rows
down
go
ones.
across and
Rows
columns
are the
go
across
down.
ones.
We're learning today, whānau.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. And so, sorry, the bottom row is the Tigers related players. So it goes as such. If you're going center, middle, it is an origin player who has won a premiership. If you're going top left, it is a Melbourne Storm and Bronco player, so someone who has played for both teams. If you're going top right, it is someone who's played at the Bulldogs and the Broncos. So that's how the game goes, whānau. And if you are listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your good podcasts, head over to our YouTube and try and tap into this minute. So then you get a visual of what this looks like. Otherwise, I think I might try and get a downloadable version up online for you guys to download and play with your friends at home. But yeah, because you won, Brother Tai, you get to start us off. Good luck.
Say less, brother, say less. All right. I think I'm going to go for our top corner there, since it's both of our teams, Broncos and the Storm. Can't let you have that one. So
nasty.
Oh, the man you gave to us many moons ago, the X Factor himself, Mr. Xavier Coates. Oh, we'll chuck him up in the corner. Yeah, solid bet, solid.
See, I don't mind letting him go now because, you know, Jesse Arthurs, he's in some form at the moment, although injured. And we've got Dean double, like he's Dean Mariner, he's always looking for a double. We had Selwyn Cobbo on the wing. We had a plethora of wings. You know, the one I wish we gave away though was Corey Oates.
Nah, bro, you keep that. I'll just have my land, thank you.
Look, I'm gonna pinch one of your Storm players, but we're not going for premiership. We're going for Storm Tiger. Now, whānau,
okay.
I know what you're thinking. Current Storm and Tiger player? Must be a centre. No, we're going with the hooker Harry Grant.
Eh? For Storm and Tigers?
100%, brother, 100%, man. I think it was, 2020? He played for the Tigers on loan. I think Cam Smith was still playing for the Storm, and Hey,
All
he
right,
played there.
okay,
He
all
played there.
right. That was a sneaky one. I was like, what are these? Okay, got me
I
good.
mean, like technically not contracted to the Tigers ever, but he
Mm.
was on loan at the Tigers.
Oh, I'd hate to see Harry in a black and orange top. Oh, well, it doesn't seem right.
It looks
I don't know.
weird. It looks weird. I'm not gonna lie. It looked weird.
Black's not his color. Purple, purple prime. Nah, ain't the one. All right. How dare you pinch my bloody Storm in the corner there? Dang. Who do I go for now? I think we're gonna go straight down the middle, son. Right in that middle spot there. Origin, Premiership,
Uh,
and just for I don't know if I get bonus points for this, but it's a Storm player too. You know, do you get extra points? Nah, all good.
Extra
But
points for your own player.
what if I can name a player with all of the categories? Surely that's a dub right there. But I'm a locker in my main man, the Money Monster himself, in the middle there, playing both Origin and Championships, even though he's not going to be around for the upcoming bloody Origin due to his groin injury or whatever's going on there. Story of my life with the Melbourne Storm, but never mind. We keep on keeping on.
Bro, you know what's crazy? My like dyslexic brain just like, if you took out one of the I's in Origin and rearranged the word, it spells groin.
I was like, where is this going? Is it okay? And you know how I feel about spelling. You made me work far too hard for that one. I was like, what is he gonna spell? What is he gonna do? I'm not sure, and I can't fact check it. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the top left locked in, you've got the center locked in, I've got bottom left. Well, I have to go bottom right just to block.
You don't
So
have to.
Bulldog, Tiger. I mean, like that's how we play, right? That's how we play. We got it. We got a block. So I'm going Bulldog, and I'm going to go Tiger. I'm going to go with Brent Naden, former Bulldog, current Tiger. Not currently playing
Bush.
this week. Fun fact.
Oh,
And the other player
deduct
I would
one
have
point.
gone with was David Clemmer.
Oh,
Deduct 1 point. Hey, I got to go with the deep cuts, brother. I got to go with the deep cuts.
fair enough. Fair enough. Coming for me here. Ooh. Oh, I know I have to go that bottom middle. I know I need to. But for the life of me, I don't know my Tigers fans, but I cannot think of any of you. Any of you that made Origin. Yeah, damn. Um, I'm just gonna have to go top middle, be cheeky, and take Broncos Origin. The star player at the moment. Let's go for Reece Walsh. Top middle. Damn.
Reece Walsh. Are you really sure you couldn't name one Tiger that's played State of O currently? You
Not
can't you
one with
can't
a
get it. It's you're giving it to me. You're giving it to me.
not one with a residency. Unfortunately, no one that I can't think of any Tigers players that can play Origin. Well, not for Queensland anyway. Nah, I
No, there
can't.
we go. That's where you're done messed up, my brother. You always got to study your enemies. You know the whole saying: keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Because Api
Mate.
Coruscant was a State of Origin player, former Panther. You're lucky, or unlucky, sorry, that this little quiz was pulled up a year earlier. I mean, if you went next year, you could have said Luai.
Bro, there would have been number. Wait, is he Queensland or New South Wales? Uppy,
Jerome Luai or Api. Nah,
Uppy.
Api's New South. He's the hooker for New South. Him and Damien Cook.
Oh, yep, that makes sense. My whole mind was just thinking of all of the Queensland Maroons. This is, yeah, that makes sense. Got me.
Hey man, I study both sides equally, just so I can, excel in situations like this. I might have lost the paper, scissors, rock, but I won the tic-tac-toe. So for the team Rawiri out there, I know you guys will be cheering me on after that one. All team 2, they will be all on your side after the paper, scissors, rock win. So the fans remain divided.
Hey, as long as we get the Origin win, you can have it. Game 1. But hey, that's another conversation for another day.
Whānau. Exactly, and everyone already knows how I feel. So we're about to see who my allegiance goes to in about a week's time when the Origin lineups get named. Because if we see one particular name on there, I'm jumping borders. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Turning a rim over with the cane toads, brother. You look good in maroon. It brings out your eyes. I'm telling you. Hide am I?
Hey man, I feel like I not deserve it, but like I feel like it's not really bandwagoning because I endured the 8 years of hardship. I was there back in the Blues during the dominant era. I was there just hoping for one game, waving my little New South Wales flag, hoping for one game.
Please.
Hoping for at least,
sir.
if we lose this game, come on, Paul, win the punch up, Paul Gallen.
And he did. And my man did. I'll give him that. Exactly. He can throw hands. Damn, he can.
Exactly. So, you know, I feel like me jumping ship now isn't a cop-out. I feel like it's deserved after how many years I've endured.
I agree.
I deserved. I could have jumped back in like 06, 07, 08, 09, 2010, 2011, 2012, 14, 15.
Oh, jeez. But nah, man, you've done the hard yards. You've paid your dues.
Exactly. So, heading over to our week of games, looking forward to our week of games. Tonight's game, I'm actually looking forward to this. You know, what do we call this? I'm a quiet Dragons fans. Regular listeners of the show, they know this about me. I'm a big believer in the Dragons. I have liked what the Bulldogs have been up to, but like I said on Tuesday, Whānau, they just looked lackluster out there. They looked discombobulated against the Raiders. So the Dragons look a little bit healthier to me, in my opinion. So this game kicks off 9:50 p.m. New Zealand time at Accor Stadium, the home of the Parramatta and the Wangal peoples. So it's the Indigenous round. So I'm just trying my best here to pronounce some of these Indigenous peoples. The iwi of Australia, o ngā iwi I roto I ahitareiria. Aroha mai if I get these wrong. I am doing my best, but hey, it is what it is.
That's all we can do,
quick run through. Exactly. And a quick run through of all the positional players. We've got Connor Tracy in at fullback, Jacob Kiraz, Bronson Sherry in the wing centre. At 4, we've got Stephen Crichton. At 5, we've got Josh Adokar with Burton and Hutchison at halfback, who's been saying every week, Doggies fans hate Drew Hutchinson and they want him out of the squad. I know,
True.
man.
Why?
He's still there, so he must be doing all right. Yeah. I have no idea. He just keeps telling me. Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring it up again today. Just to, continuity in the episodes.
Remind him, let him know.
Exactly. The backs for the Dragons look like Tyrell Sloan. Big fan, by the way. Zach, the wannabe centre. Lomax better on the wing. Moses Sully in the centre, Jack Bird the other centre, Mikaele Ravalawa on the wing, Kyle Flanagan at 5'8", and Ben Hunt at halfback. Solid backs for both teams. Now looking over to the forwards, we've got Max King at prop, Reid Mahoney at hooker, Samuel Hughes at prop, Viliami Kikau at the second row, alongside Jamin Salmon and Kurt Mann. That rounds out the starting forwards for the Bulldogs, and for the Dragons, Francis Molo, Jacob Little at hooker, Hamesile at prop, Tom Eisenhuth at second row alongside Jaden Sewer, and locking it down is Jack DeBellin. Some big names there for both teams. Dragons coming off the bye last week and the Bulldogs coming off a Well, it looks like a close loss, right? But it was because of
Mm,
2 yellow cards, 2 sin bins for the Raiders, which gave the Bulldogs opportunities to score tries. Before that, they looked strong against the Panthers, only losing 16-10. They thumped the Tigers 22-14. They beat the Knights 36-12, and they narrowly lost against the Storm 14-16. Whereas the Dragons have been a little bit more unpredictable. The Dragons went 24-12 versus the Tigers 5 weeks ago. Then they pumped the Warriors 30-12 after the Warriors drew against Manly. Then they lost on the Anzac Day, 18-60 versus the Roosters. Then they lost again 10-20 versus the Sharks. And then they beat the Rabbitohs. However, it is the Rabbitohs, so you can't really say that was a huge win. It's just, I mean, it's an active buy round. We call it a practice run. Every round has one, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a tough game. Both teams, I think the Dragons are just a little bit ahead of the Bulldogs on the ladder. Yes, the Dragons are 9th, the Bulldogs are 11th, so both just outside the top 8, but are definitely hunting for some of those bottom 2 picks. Well, not picks, but bottom 2 spots on
yeah,
the Premiership
top
ladder
8.
to make that top 8. So
Yeah.
both teams, they're definitely looking forward to making a stamp. This is a game both teams can win. It's not sort of like a Sharks versus Bunnies where you've got one clear-cut winner. This is kind of a 50-50 match. I'm not quite sure who I'd go with, but this week I'm going to lean towards the Dragons. I do like the Dragons, the big red V, and that Indigenous jersey that just looks so beautiful. I'm going to go Dragons by 12.
Dragons by
Final score,
12.
give me 18-6.
No?
Yeah, that's me. Over to you. What's your thoughts on
Um,
this game?
only doing one try for the Bulldogs, 6-18. I definitely, yeah, I agree. I agree a lot. Both teams are progressing through the season steadily. We haven't had any major upsets like I don't know, 5 streak loss, some stuff like that. But Dragons by 12 or the Bulldogs. I bet Two's ears are just itching right now. I was talking about the Bulldogs with him. I'm sure he'd be all in here telling us how they're gonna win it and all this. Or he might have a different opinion, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be his call. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate, my friend, and I'm going to go Bulldogs. I think it's gonna be not a high scoring game, but not low. I'm gonna go 18-22. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be quite close, and it might come down to some penalty shots, and hopefully these kicks are okay. I'm not too familiar with the Dragons kicker or the Bulldogs kicker, but I think it will come down to who can secure those conversions for the win.
Nice. Yeah, well, Lomax is the kicker for the Dragons, and let me just double check. I think it's Burden for the Bulldogs.
Mm,
Yeah, it is Burden. Both guys can boot the ball, but their past couple of games they have struggled a little. So will be interesting to see who wins the boot tonight. I know in play kicks you've got Ben Hunt on the Dragons, and we know he knows how to
mm,
steer the boys around the park, and we know he knows how to
yeah,
get some good 40-20s and some good kicks in play. But Burden can boot that ball like no one else. So
yeah. This
I
is
think it
true.
would
This is
come down to
true.
the battle of the kicks too this weekend.
Yeah, because you don't realize
Then
until
who?
the points start to stack up that those kicks can make or break. Especially like coming from my boys, we've literally only been winning, by the Anzac game, by 2 points, by a kick, by a penalty. So they really do add up in the end.
And that's all you need really, to just keep you ahead is just those, 2 pointers, field goals, whether it be a 1 point field goal, 2 point field goal, or a penalty kick, just something to
Mm,
just give you an edge over a try. And hey, it's worked out for Melbourne in the past few weeks.
yes, sir.
Who then do you think has the better back five? The Bulldogs or the Dragons? Both. packing experience in different ways. You got, two premiership winners in Stephen Crichton and Josh Addo-Carr on the Bulldogs, and with the Dragons, you've got a departing Lomax who's really come out this season and made a claim as being one of the best wingers in the comp this year. So who do you think has the best back five?
It's tricky. Honestly, Steve was an awesome, amazing pickup for the Bulldogs coming from Penrith, and he's solid on his own. Addo-Carr, I don't know. He's been different since he's come to the Bulldogs. It's not a bad thing, but maybe it's because of just his inside centres and who he's got running with him and the options and the playmakers. But when Addo-Carr's on, the Fox, he goes. You can't stop him. He's away laughing. But if he can't get that mojo going against the Dragons, he does tend to fall into a bit of a rut where he's just, we'll get him next. We'll get him next week. So, but in saying that, I still believe the Bulldogs are just going to pull it all out. This week. Like you said, the Dragons just came off from a bye, and the Bulldogs have just come away with a loss. I'm sure they're going to... Was it a loss, sorry? Yeah. No, they did.
Yeah.
They narrowly lost. Yeah, sorry. just to remind too. But yeah, I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. It was like you said, they just lost. I think they're going to be hungry for it. I think Steve's going to lead them through. He's been solid all year so far. He's just such an impactful player on their gameplay. So if he can spark up the boys and rock them up and get everyone like the likes of Addo-Carr and that going, and if he can get them, the mana going and the passion flowing, I think they've got this. But it will depend on, that leadership from the top and if he can bring his team up together, not just himself.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to rely on the back of Viliami Kikau, who had a kind of a quiet game, I thought, last week against the Raiders. So they're really going to have to jump on his back this week and get him to lead the way on those kick chases like he has been all season, which has had him in the Dally M conversations up until last week. So
True.
Bulldogs fans, you're going to need your forwards to get some good go forth up the middle there and on the edges and get those backs moving early and often. For the Dragons, you just need to stick to your game plan, get in some solid kicks with Ben Hunt, utilise Zach Lomax, get that kick chase working, and put up high bombs right in front of the line. Heading over to Friday night's games. Fun fact, I'm going to be in Christchurch this Friday. So what up,
city.
Canterbury? I'm going to go watch the Blues and the Crusaders while I'm down there on Saturday. But don't worry. I'll be taking my phone. So I'm going to be there just watching the footy while I'm at the footy. I don't really like Union that much, but I'm going with some mates, so it'll be worth it. But anyway, back to this game. So this is I fucking 100%. I fucking hate this stadium's name. It's too long. Why can't we have like a Arrowhead Stadium? Like
Arrowhead
in Kansas. It's in Kansas City, American football. American Airlines Arena, something like that. Instead, we get this Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. The Cowboys take on the Tigers. And this stadium is home of the Wulgurukaba peoples. Hopefully I said that correctly. These are difficult, man. For all my Indigenous brothers over in Australia, brother, your fellas Reo is difficult, man. I thought Reo Māori was, I don't actually think Reo Māori was that difficult. It's pretty easy to pronounce, but man, you fellas, I think it's the G's, the way you fellas use G's and L's, and I guess it's because it's not a written language, so we shouldn't be reading it like that. It's a sound, but we are not. Yeah. So anyway, let's dive into this game. We've got Vince's beloved Tigers going up against somebody's Cowboys. Somebody loves the Cowboys, not me. This is how the teams shape up. We've got Scott Drinkwater at fullback for the Cowboys going up against Braden Burns, Valentine Holmes, Viliami Vailea, Murray Taulagi, Tom Dearden, and Chad Townsend that round out the backs. On the Tigers side, we got Jareen Bullitt, who's sort of cementing himself as a new up-and-coming fullback in what they're dubbing the era of fullbacks at the moment. Because when you take a pause real quick from this, but when you think about the league currently and the shape that it's in, almost every team, and I talked about this on Tuesday in terms of Tain Tuopiki, is every team has like a star fullback or a very good up and coming fullback. I mean, with the Broncos, we've got Reece Walsh, we've got Tristan Saylor, and then you've got Selwyn Cobbo, who has that duality that he can play fullback. Then you look at Melbourne Storm, they've got Pap, and he's followed up with Fa'alongo, who's arguably the best backup fullback you can get in the comp right now.
My Lord.
Then at the Warriors, they've got Charles Nickel-Klokstad, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and Tain Tuopiki. I think the Raiders, Rapon is not really a fullback. He's aged. But then you've got Chevy Stewart behind him, who's, although he's young, he's still got a lot of talent. The Roosters, they've got Joey Manu, who should be starting fullback and not Tedesco, but hey, that's a whole other story. Then at the Titans, you've got Keanu Kinney, who's behind AJ Brimson, who's behind Jaden Campbell. Then we've got the Dolphins. The Dolphins have the Hammer, but then they've got Trey Fuller. So, plethora of fullbacks around the league. There's no shortage. So if you think your team's got a shit fullback, look again. I guarantee they've got a big one in. Jareen Bullard is no different. Out on the wing, they got Charlie Staines and Declan Casey coming in, or Josh Fillaty. One of them's coming in for Brent Naden, who is he got penalised, so he won't be here. And Justin Olam is also not there. So Declan Casey and Josh Fillaty both come in for those two. Then we've got Solomon Ali. Solomon Alaimalo on the wing. Lachlan Galvin, who I think is a sensational player. He's going to be a great 5'8", mentored underneath Benji Marshall. Lachlan Galvin, the sky is the limit. Just stay the fuck away from the Roosters. Stay the fuck away from the Roosters. Don't you ever go there. And at halfback for the Tigers, they got Jaden Sullivan. Oh, mate, I have a vendetta against the Roosters and the Panthers. They're two teams, as well as the Dolphins, but the Dolphins, they suck. Those are two teams no one on the show can ever support, okay? But, hey, if we ever get Roosters players that want to come on the show, holla at your boy. Some of those boys we can with you guys too if you want, There's recent controversy, by the way, that they were all on cocaine. While they had fans saying that their parents had passed away and they were trying to do giveaways and stuff, and they're claiming that they weren't high, but they don't blink. None of them blink. Their pupils are dilated, and a lot of them keep rubbing their noses. So I'm like, hey, Fano, just admit it. Put your hand up and say I was in the wrong. But anyway,
those sinuses can play up sometimes, brother. Hay fever and whatnot. It's a common thing. I'm here for the brothers.
For all of them?
A lot of pollen in the air and whatnot. We can't jump to conclusions in this sense until proven guilty, my boys.
Hey, they call me Tigger. I be jumping. Anyway, we're moving back on to the Cowboys Tigers games. The forwards look like this. They have Jordan McLean, Reece Robinson, and this is a cult hero for you, Ty. This is our main guy. We love this guy on the show. This is our favorite non-Bulldog, non-Tiger, non-Bronco player that we have in the comp. We've kind of pushed him onto the practice squad listeners, really. The people who tune into the practice run every week already know who I'm about to say, but we really push this guy. We're like Vince McMahon, and this is like Roman Reigns from like 2020. This is who we're really pushing, man. Is Griffin Nee, a.k.a. Griffin Niame, our favorite player. He's from West Coast and North Island. When we were at the boys' trip, when we're having dinner, he was that one that got over the try line, like with the Kiwis game, to win them that game. He was the one who scored that last try that we saw on the TV while we were waiting for our dinner.
Shit. Oh,
that was Griffin Nee.
Oh, gotcha. Bro.
Yeah, so that's why we love that guy, because it's not just that he's a wicked player, but there's that backstory to it. There's a reason why we love this guy, and it's because we're all together partying. Oh, sorry, Fano. Tai was also with us at the trip in Wellington last year with me, Vince. So Tai was also one of the brothers there. So yeah, huge weekend.
Massive, mate, massive.
Exactly, but that's a whole other story for a whole other day. So anyway, Helium, I always mess up his name. It's Halem Lukey, but I always call him Helium Lukey. He's back. Jeremiah Nunai and Ruben Cotter rounding out the Cowboys forwards. Then on the West Tigers, another Origin player from the West Tigers, Stefano Utoikamanu. The other Origin player, Api Coruscant. Then the Bulldog, now Tiger, David Clement, Isaiah Papali'i and Samuela Fainu in the second row, with Justin Matamua rounding out the lock position for the Tigers. Now, fun fact about Isaiah Papali'i, it has been determined yesterday that he is now a free agent. Well, he can talk to other clubs, and if he negotiates with another club, he is free to leave effective immediately. Which is interesting because he's still in the starting lineup. So he's not... Yeah, but he's not a shit player because he's still in the starting lineup. It's not like he's been bounced out and he's in reserve grade trying to fight his way back in and is looking for an out just to try and get back into first grade. He's a starting first grade player. I think he was supposed to be off contract next year, but the Tigers are allowing him an early release. And I guess that's all just, Benji is saying that things aren't quite working at the club with the current team. There has been a shift. They don't look as sorry as they did last year, but they're still not winning games. So you got to free up cap space, and you got to look, what can we do? So Isaiah Papali'i is off contract. I mean, not to rub salt in the wound, but everyone who's left Tigers in recent years has excelled. I mean, we were talking about off camera. You have the likes of Adam Blair. When he left the Tigers, came up to the Broncos for a bit, revitalized his career. Then he was able to finish on a high note at the Warriors. Then you've got the likes of a Luke Brooks, who's actually playing pretty decently down there in Manly. So yeah, interesting to see where he'll end up. I know Roosters got some money. Panthers have got some money.
True.
Broncos, we ain't got no money. I know Bulldogs are looking for some forwards. Two is always going on about the Bulldogs looking for some forwards. So Isaiah Papali'i could be an option. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this lineup, bro? I'm going Cowboys over the Tigers. I'm going Cowboys by 14. We'll go 28-14.
Yeah, man. It's, love to the brother Vince, but yeah, it's hard to bet on the black and orange. It's just, like you said, they're not doing anywhere near as bad as they were last year and the previous, but Cowboys have never been that low in a long time. They haven't been right up there, but I'm gonna have to give it to the Cowboys out. Yeah, I just think their boys are going to dominate. I think they're going to. Yeah. What's our score looking like? You said plus 14, 28-14. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think the Tigers will get on the scoreboard. I don't know if they'll get 14. I'm gonna go more like 6-24. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Because I'm just looking at the past 5 games for the Tigers. The 5th game versus the Panthers was the only time they scored under double digits. Every other game, they scored 10, 14, 14, and 12, which gave me on average, they probably score around 14 points.
I see.
And then lose by about 20 plus.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to lose by a decent margin. Yeah, it's just hard to see. Well, I definitely think they're going to score, but whether they get past the double digits. But hey, track record says that they can, and they will get there. So I'm still going to lock in 6-24. and we'll see what happens. We might make some money.
All right. Well, there we go. That's the Cowboys versus West Tigers, 8 p.m. on Friday night. Going to the main event on Friday night, we've got Manly Seagulls versus Ties. Melbourne Storm at 4 Pines Park, Sydney, home of the Garigal people. I'm going to hand this one over to you to kickstart things. It's your team, so you get the mana first. You give us the breakdown. What are your thoughts?
Oh, brother, if you insist, if you want me to rave on about the Purple Army, the pride, the joy, 1998, we established ourselves. Oh, geez, what a year. But anyway, enough about them. This, I know it's going to sound biased coming from me because I'm Purple Pride through and through, but let's be honest, Fino. Let's look at this.
That's the privilege of being on the show. That's the privilege of being on the show, brother. You get to have the mana to say what you want.
But even if I wasn't, even if I'm a betting man and I'm just out here looking at stats, right? It's I'm almost certain that the Storm. There's always a chance. There's always a small chance because the Knights managed to do it. There's always a small chance that we might lose, and especially just coming off that win. But no hate against the Sea Eagles, but you guys just aren't on our level right now. We are just like previous years. We've continued to excel and keep moving. Our reserves that we have in the tank are crazy too, because we are taking big losses on these games. We're throwing the boys are throwing their everything into these games, but luckily at the moment we have a plethora of reserves ready to step up, and these aren't our reserves are there just because the only reason they're down there is because we have superstars in their position that until they injure themselves or are unable to play, then they get their chance to shine. And man, when they get their chance, they use it. I think every reserve that's come off the off the line has just performed and really tried to work for their jersey or earn what they're wearing. But score wise, geez, how it's not whether we're gonna win, it's how much we're gonna win by is the question, Fano. How long's a piece of string? I'm gonna go with honestly, I'm thinking in the plus 30s. Like I think if we performed anything like we did against the who did we just beat? Why am I having a blank? Help me out here, Ra. Who did the Storm just verse on the weekend and we bet them? It was the Parramatta Eels.
Parramatta.
Sorry. I was like, I know this team because they're our bogey team. And this is why I don't like to keep them in my head. It's bad juju. But yeah, coming off that win with the Parramatta Eels, a convincing win too, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, the Storm, they're just winning. They're just scraping through. They're barely winning. Key word is winning. How you get there is none of my, as long as we're getting the dub and we're battling. Sometimes you turn out on the other side, but like the Warriors, they are scraping under, not by and over. They're scraping under. That doesn't make them a bad team. It just means they're unlucky and they're being on the wrong side. Fortunate for us over down in Melbourne, we have been fortunate enough to be on the other side of the scoreboard, and it's been a battle every week. But coming into this Manly game, I know we have a lot of men standing down. Obviously, Munster just got injured in our last game against Para. We've still got Pappenhauser out. So we've got a few boys out for this next game, and we've got Origin coming up soon, so they're likely to rest some players too. But even with our bare skeleton crew, they're so tight-knit and they work for each other, and we're not the biggest team. We're definitely not the biggest team out there, so we have to rely on each other and really trust your man on your inside and your outside. And that's what the boys have across the board. Not only with their starting lineup, but the reserves, everyone on the bench. They really have a close, tight-knit relationship with each other. So it doesn't matter who gets pulled out or gets pulled in, they're all going to perform together and they still mesh really well together. And that's where I always say this, and I say every game, the Melbourne Storm are an 80-minute team. So if you bring a 70-minute team or a 75-minute team, you're going to regret it. Because if you give them time and if you start to, let off the throttle just a little bit too soon, mate, that's when we get a taste of it. That's when we can smell blood and we go for it. So, yeah, that's my predictions for this up-and-coming game. Good luck to Manly, but hey, what happens, happens.
Yeah, look, that's not a bad prediction, to be honest. Although last year Storm won 24-6, Manly won 18-8. And where do Manly currently sit in the standings? They are 10th.
Still outside of the 8.
Currently, the way this season has worked is teams like the Eels, who are, I think, at the bottom of the table, just above the Rabbitohs, or maybe they might be one above the Titans, the Eels. The Storm have managed to put teams like that away. It's teams like the Roosters where they just hang on, or the Sharks who they lost to, but controversial. The bigger teams, they managed to hang on and win. Manly, for the first time last week, showed a bit of life over the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks prior, sorry. Manly have been getting the lead and then throwing it away. They've been clawing back. Well, they get off to a hot start, and then in that Raiders game, they let the Raiders come back in the second half and just bowl them over. I think it was 20-6 at the end of the first half, and then the Raiders finished 26-24. And then the same thing versus the Dolphins. They got out to a hot start. I think the Dolphins scored first, and the Manly got out to a hot start, and then I think about 20 minutes in, the Dolphins came out and fired back, and then in the second half, Manly clawed back, but Dolphins were too far ahead and finished out that game 24-30. Last weekend versus the Broncos, they managed to keep tight with the Broncos. The Broncos scored 2 in the first half. Manly scored 2 in the second half. They just couldn't get anyone in position to kick that one-pointer to send it into golden point. I think Manly's defense is coming back. Even without what's his name, Trbojevic. It looks like they're keeping Ben Trbojevic on this week, and Jake's playing lock. Ben at second row. Olakau'atu's had a good season. Katoa had a great game last week. Blore kind of up and down so far this season. Jerome Hughes is back this week, so that's a huge boost for this Melbourne side, which takes it from being, I think, a close-ish game to now being sort of a game where you can kind of give it to Melbourne, and you kind of know that with Jerome Hughes there, he's going to guide them around the park. He's so energetic, man. His acceleration is like that. He's a skillful player. We're glad to have him as a Kiwi. And as a Māori, great ambassador for the game. With him back in the field, I don't think Storm have lost a game when Jerome Hughes has played so far this season.
True.
So that's a great stat. No Munster, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Wishart is still a quality player, and I think with a lot more game time and guaranteed game time, I think he'll be able to get comfortable in that role moving forward. I like Whālongo. He's electric, man. I hate to say it, but he's going to get scooped up by another club. 100%. 100% he's going to get scooped up by another club.
Settle down.
You guys have invested too much time and money. You've invested too much time and money into Ryan Papenhuyzen to just let him go. And he's still a quality player, still a great player. I think he has a better understanding of how the game works than Whālongo. Whālongo is kind of like Reece Walsh in a way, where they have that athleticism that gets them out of trouble a lot of the times, which, great work for far long. You can't knock someone for being athletic. But I think because of all the injuries, Pep isn't as athletic, but man, he knows how to hit those gaps. He knows how to
Yeah,
read a defense, and he knows where to be when the ball's coming through. And that's kind of stuff that you can't teach. So it's a tough
true.
decision for Melbourne fans coming forward, but hey, it's a great problem to have, right? It's a great problem to have. For that reason, and I'm a big Tommy Talol fan for Manly, big Tommy Talol fan. So I hope he gets over the dotted line this weekend, even if it's their only try. I just need Tommy's stats to go up because he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll give him one. Maybe a
Yeah,
cheeky,
but
maybe
yeah,
a
yeah.
penalty.
Look, as long as if he scores a double or a hat trick, just you guys just score more. But I need Tommy to go through the roof this weekend. Look, I'm gonna go 24-10. Tommy scores 2 tries.
2
I'm going
tries.
24-10.
Didn't convert two
Yeah,
of them
yeah, yeah.
though. Didn't
Tommy,
convert it. All right.
Tommy.
Okay.
No, he converts one, misses one. Yeah, Tommy, just
Deep.
Tommy. I don't care about
Just
the rest of
Tommy.
the team. If
Okay.
anyone
All
else on
right.
that team scores, pull it back. Just
Oh,
Tommy,
we
just
we
Tommy.
will.
But
Like I said,
no,
bring that 80-minute team. You better be here for the whole time.
I've got
And
I've got Jerome Hughes getting over for a 4-pointer, and I've got him kicking a couple to Xavier Coates. I reckon Coates for a double, just on that edge, because they'll rely on Jason Saab because he's back this week for the Sea Eagles. So I think they'll try and test him a little bit to see how healthy he is, and I think Coates will be going up against Saab and Warbrick versus Tuomalu Vainga Raymond. So that'll be a good battle to watch. I think is the battle of the
yeah.
wingers and the halfbacks. Daly Cherry Evans versus Jerome Hughes. And I think,
Oh,
in all honesty, this is a game. This is a game. Luke Brooks needs to step the fuck up. He started the season off so well. We gave him his flowers. We thought, man, this guy's got the goods. Maybe it was the Tigers that was holding him back, and he's kind of dipped into another lull again. So without Turbo, I need to see Luke Brooks step up, and this has to be a game where he steps up to say, I'm that guy, and if he can't, no better test than against Melbourne. Melbourne have been a standard for so long. Melbourne, Penrith, Roosters, they've been the bar. And if you want to test yourself, if you want to really prove that it was the Tigers holding you back, Luke Brooks, you need to have a big game against Melbourne this weekend. I mean, Ty's hoping that you don't, but, for the love of the sport, Luke Brooks, you need to step up because you can't, I hate when people go, because this is what got me before. Everyone was banging on about how well the Warriors played against the Rabbitohs earlier on in the season.
yeah.
They were like, oh man, this was the best game we'd seen the Warriors play all year. It was against the Rabbitohs.
And it was
What
pretty
the
early.
fuck?
How many games
Whereas,
have you seen so far?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, man, there's nothing in that. So if you want to step up and really make a statement, that's when you take on the Storm and you give it your best shot. As a Broncos fan, we gave it everything. We had that game and then we let it slip away with too many errors or just not being able to hold the ball. Had a few injuries, but man, the better team on the day won. Storm just find ways to get that ball back in hands and get over the line. So it
Love
is
to
what it
hear
is.
it.
You can't hate them for it. You can't hate them for it. It
That's
is
it,
what
my
it
brother.
is. It's footy. Same thing happened
Like you
against the
said,
Bulldogs.
yep. Like you said, we're we're a good training ground. If you want to come up and go against, not to toot our own horn, I won't be that guy, but we are a good team to come up against and battle to better yourself too, because we're only scraping by in these games. We're putting our all into it too. But it's the whole 80 minutes. It's keeping that composure. Melbourne Storm don't really fight, and because let's be honest, we're going to lose them. But they're not. We're not the big. We're not here to win the fight. We're here to run around the field and tire you out. We are not going to win any fights, unfortunately. But yeah, nah. I hope that is one thing I want to take away from that game is I do want Cherry Evans to use this as a not a warm up, but kind of like set the tone for Origin coming forward because this is you're going up against one of the best teams and you want to solidify yourself. Don't get me wrong, I still want the Melbourne Storm to win, but I want him to really play his ass off and start making those moves and start directing the boys, because at the end of the day, for me, he's going to have to do that when he goes to Queensland again. So, it all works together. It all works itself out.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But you know who I hope has a blinder in that game? Both Tommy Talau and Katoa and Harry Grant. Those three players better be the try scorers on Friday night, tomorrow night. Those three players. Why? Because they're all on my fantasy team.
Real quick tangent. Going back to Melbourne Storm, Harry Grant. What are your thoughts on that sin bin on the kick tackle, whatever that call was? Baffled. Absolutely baffled.
Yeah, I understand. And for me, it was not really a penalty, but it looks like it's something that they want to stamp out of the game. And to do it, you've got to make those calls all the time, just like how they do with a lot of the head high shit now. Just it's something they're trying to stamp out of the game. Same with the legs being lifted. Anytime a leg gets lifted, even though you might just pick it up and put it back down accidentally, that's penalties now. But that's something they're trying to stamp out of the game. As harsh as it is, it's a BS call. But as long as they're consistent with it throughout the season, I'm fine with it. But one referee I've blasted on here, and it's not because she's female. I think Belinda is the best referee in the comp at the moment. But it's that other one. What's her name? It's the other one. Hold on. Let me just scroll through here. I'm trying to find her. I blasted her 2 weeks ago, and people were like, "This because she's Belinda Sharp, by the way. She is the best ref in the comp at the moment, Belinda Sharp. But it's this other one. Where is she? Casey Badger. Absolutely terrible. If she doesn't have if she's not the main referee for a game this week, this is her second week that she's been stood down. It looks like she's been stood down quietly. But she was the one that reffed against the Warriors. They let that Sean Johnson armbar go. That tore his pectoral.
Oh, gotcha.
She let Dylan Walker get kicked in the leg after he had same thing Harry Grant got sent off. Well, someone did it to Dylan Walker, and it just carried on. Yeah,
and it was worse.
She's a terrible ref. She got blown up. Yeah, and she got blown up the week before. And she's the one who Billy Slater came to her defense saying, refereeing's not that easy. If you think you can do it, pick up a whistle, go ref some weekend games. But I'm like, Billy, shut the fuck up. You're the greatest fullback of all time, but shut the fuck up. She is a terrible ref. She is horrible.
Billy, are you watching the same game we're watching? Are you seeing the same calls? Funny you mentioned that, because I was going to reference that when she reffed that game, almost like for like, the same penalty happened, if not worse, because when Harry Grant did it, he didn't go for the body at all. He went for the ball, he kicked the ball, wasn't going for the leg, happened to hit it as he was going past. And then Hollywood over here does a couple flips and trips and wins the Grammy. I was like, whoa, settle down. How did you're spinning the opposite direction, brother, to the one you got hit. Something came right here. The math ain't mathing. But at the most, if we're going to start enforcing that rule, on report. But a sin bin? You took a man away?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what in the oranga tamariki is this, uplifting my players from my team? Jeez.
Hey, sin bin, but be consistent. I want all refs sin binning people. I don't want to see it just once. Every week. Every game. Every play. Yeah. So, 100%. And the way she just let it play on, they didn't even get a penalty kick out of it, the Warriors. It just played on. So, to be honest, I hope she never refs again. She is terrible. I can say that. I don't even care. If people want to come back and clip this in the future, if we ever crack it and make it big, I mean, this might be why we don't get sponsors, but it's not because I'm sexist. It's just because I'll call it as it is, black and white, If a ref is shit, a ref is shit. If a
That's
ref is
it.
good, a ref is good. It is what it is.
No, 100.
But anyway, we'll move along to Super Saturday. We've got Super Saturday. The first game kicking off is the Canberra Raiders taking on the Roosters. The Raiders are playing host at Geo Stadium in Canberra, home of the Ngunnawal people. Again, I'm trying, Fano. I'm trying. So I'll quickly run through the positions. The backs for the Raiders look like Jordan Rapana, Nick Kotrick, Matthew Timoko, Sebastian Chris, Xavier Savage, Ethan Strange, and Kyle Weeks going up against James Tedesco, Daniel Tupou, Joseph Suali'i, Joey Manu returns after concussion protocols, Dom Young, Luke Carey, and Sam Walker. In the forwards, we've got Emery Gulla, Danny Levi, Joey Tarpane, Hudson Young, Elliot Whitehead, and Morgan Smithies. Just a reminder that, what's his name? Josh Papali'i, I think, is being stood down this week because of that hip drop against...
Naughty boy.
It was against the Bulldogs, but I can't remember which player. It might have been Kikau, actually. And then over to the Roosters forward, the heartiest Māori I've seen in the NRL in probably my entire life. You've got to give it to him, mate. Jared Waerea-Hargreaves, man, he is a beast. And to still be going at 60 years old, got to give it to him. Got to give it to Koro. He's holding it down for us out there. 70 years old. He's older than Wayne Bennett, and he's still playing. Then we've got Brandon Smith at hooker, Lindsay Collins, the other prop, Angus Crichton, who's found some form lately, Victor Radley, and no Fahu White. I think you won't be waiting too much longer to see the likes of who's on the interchange, Spencer Leniu and Terrell May being the starting props for this Roosters side to take over for Hargreaves and Lindsay in the coming future. But look, both teams look stacked. Connor Watson has an injury he's picked up. I think he's out for a few weeks actually, which kills his Origin chances because he was picking up some form. And unfortunately, I traded out Brandon Smith, so I hope his numbers don't pick up. But it looks like they will. But anyway, the return of Joey Manu changes the entire shape of this team on the field. Like Joey Manu, man, he is a beast. The Roosters definitely could have used him last week, but obviously couldn't play. But they still managed to... No, they lost, against the Sharks. So definitely having Joey Manu out there would have helped change the trajectory of that game. Just how electric he is. I mean, he's there. He should be their captain. He should be their fullback. He should be their everything. But instead, they're letting him walk and go to Union. I fucking hate the Roosters for that, man. It's because they have that mentality. If you're not going to play for us, we'd rather lose you to the sport. And that's what's happening.
Because he's trying to crack the All Blacks,
I'm liking Ethan. Yeah, but
Joey
it's
Manu,
because
that's
the
the
Roosters
end goal.
can't pay him, and they want him to be a Rooster for life.
Yeah.
He's going over to be coached in Japan, so he's playing for a Japanese team for the next 2 years, and is being coached by, what's his name? The two last All Blacks coaches, Foster and the other one.
Why am I blanking?
Yeah, the one after Graham Henry. Anyway, those two. And he'll be teamed up with, I think Aaron Smith's over there. So he'll be playing on that team.
True.
But yeah. So he'll have great coaches and a decent halfback to help him figure out where he plays and what position he plays. I think he'd probably go good as a wing or a fullback. But yeah, he just has to work on that kicking game. But anyway, back to league. Ethan Strange probably been the most consistent rookie of the year so far. He's, I think, only 18, 19 years old. Everyone thought it was going to be between him and Kyle Weeks, who would be, going 1-for-1 to see who holds that 6th jersey. But ever since round 1, Ethan Strange has been locked into that 6th jersey. Kyle Weeks comes in for the injured Fogarty. And, man, those two together have been playing pretty good. I think they really did well last week to play off the back of the forwards. The Raiders forwards just kept the ball moving. I don't think the Raiders were held back in their own 40 for more than 3 sets in a row. Maybe even only one set they were held in their own 40. They'd kick it and then they'd just back their defense and get the ball back. Because it was only when Rapana and Papali got sent off when the Bulldogs looked threatening. And then as soon as Rapana come back on and made it 12 on 13 instead of 11 on 13, Bulldogs didn't look threatening at all. And then when Papali come back in, that's when the Raiders took the game back over again. However, this Roosters side is a totally different side. They're not the Bulldogs. They are the Roosters, and they are a top 4 side this season. They're currently sitting in 7th, but they are a top 4 team when all cylinders are firing. That's why I'm going Roosters over the Raiders, but I'm going to go 28-24. I think it's a close one.
My man, going over to the dark side with the Roosters. I mean, bet-wise,
I hate them, but I got to pick the sensible choice.
Yeah, I hear you. Sometimes you gotta lead with your head, not your heart. But hey, we got to get those multis over the line. We need to get those to the dotted line. Yeah, what can I say? You said it all. Roosters are that team. They're not. I know they're not your favorite, but at the end of the day, those boys can perform. And with Joey coming back through, he's going to be solid in there. I think 24-28. I think the Raiders, if they can keep their composure, it's going to be a close game. But I do predict the Raiders having a strong first half. They're going to be neck and neck with Roosters. But the minute if they go into that second half down by too much, I don't know if they're going to claw their way back up, the Raiders. It's just against the Roosters, their defense on the line is strong. They don't really like people scoring on them is the thing. And that helps in the long run. So for that game, I think it's going to come down to not who wants it more. They both want it, but who's going to defend better.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think the Roosters have a better chance of that defense. And, they've got a better track record as the better team. So, statistically speaking, it should be the Roosters. But, hey, look, we've seen crazier shit happen this year in the NRL. We saw last weekend the Warriors beat the Panthers.
Crazy. Wild.
That wasn't on my bingo card in 2024. That was not on my bingo card. So, hey, look.
Bingo card. It wasn't on even the Warriors. After 5 losses, you want to go and beat the triple threat who have won it back to back to back? Like,
100%, man. I'm like, who do you think you are?
I'd like to talk to a Warriors fan and say, like, real quick, did you think that was going to happen? Because I just want to.
They're going to say, yeah, always. We believe. Hey, nah, and it's also what was I going to say? The Panthers, they lost against a preseason team. Effectively, that's what that Warriors lineup looked like. Preseason team. But speaking of the Panthers, for the second game of Super Saturday, it is the number 1 seeded Sharks taking on the reigning 3-time champion.
Damn.
Acknowledge me. The Panthers. Now, this game is going to be a close game. The Sharks have been on some barnstorming form. Nico Hines is playing at a Dally M level once again, who should be getting that number 7 jersey for Origin for New South Wales. If he doesn't and they pick some other stupid motherfucker, y'all are stupid. Nico should have been in the 7 last year, but hey, it is what it is. That's last year. We're in this year. But yeah, look, Sharks look on form. Mulitalo has been playing out of his skin. The rookie, Kale Iro, man, ever since he's come into that 4 jersey during replacements, they have looked a different side, man, which is bring Talakai to the bench, and he comes off the bench in form, bro. He plays in the forwards now.
This is true.
And yeah, look, he's got the speed of a back, the size of a forward, and the power of the islands. You don't want that running at you. And maybe he is the maybe he's the, what do you call that thing? He is the counter to some of these big tough Penrith forwards. Still no Ivan Cleary's son, what's his name? Nathan. Still no Nathan Cleary. He's out for a long time. Luai is now the resident 7, which a lot of people are saying he's doing quite well in that 7 jersey, and Benji must be just licking his chops, saying Luai played pretty well in that 7. I wouldn't say he's great, but he's playing pretty well in that 7 jersey.
Yeah.
Dylan Edwards, definitely the best fullback in the comp. He better be getting that number 1 jersey for New South Wales. If he doesn't, I'm not going to be wearing that blue jersey no more. I mean, it'll still be in my wardrobe, and I'll wear it from time to time, but I won't have
You
that
heard it
same
here first,
passion
Fano.
behind it. It'll just be a blue T-shirt that I have with a collar. That's all it is.
Just wear your New South
Taruva,
Wales undies.
Man, look. Nah. I got none of that. Just jerseys, man. Just jerseys. Paul Alamuti in because what's his name is being done for assault. Taylor May is being done for assault against his partner, I did read, and that's why he didn't play against the Warriors in the weekend.
Naughty boy.
It's
Very
an
naughty.
ongoing case, and yeah, he has been in the headlines the past few weeks. There was that one where he was speeding and Snapchatting and doing all that kind of stuff. That came into light. That was getting under investigation. Now he's up for assault.
What doing, cousin? What doing?
When things. It's just a little bit of that culture that they have there at Penrith at the moment, it seems. They have gotten a little bit too big for their own good, in a way. But yeah, Isaiah Yeo's still on the squad, and as long as he's there, this team will always be competitive. And he acts as another, what's his name? Another Cleary. Ivan's still a good coach. He still can get things done. I don't think the Panthers lose 2 in a row. I don't even know when the last time they did lose 2 in a row was. And yeah, look, last year's Sharks are way different to this year's Sharks. But last year the Panthers won both contests against the Sharks. The first game they lost by 10, scoring 20-10. And the second game they didn't even score. They got down-trailed 28-0. Different Sharks this year, though. Different Sharks. So, look, I'm going to go with another close one. Let's go 22-20. Way of the Panthers, just because I can't remember the last time the Panthers lost back-to-back. However, I will say I wouldn't be surprised if the Sharks win. If the Sharks win, it's not me going to go, oh, my God. Like, oh, what an upset. Like, I think Sharks can still win this game. It's a very winnable game for the Sharks. The only reason I'm going Penrith is because I don't see them losing back-to-back games. If Penrith beat the Warriors last week, I would have said Sharks, but only just. But because they lost against the Warriors last week, I don't see them losing again. And because of that, yeah, I'm going, maybe 24-22, something close. Maybe close even 23-22.
Ooh. Interesting. I like it. I do like a good, penalty shootout kind of vibe, just scraping past like you guys did the other week. Yeah, I agree completely. Panthers going back to back with losses. They don't do that. It's not really their thing. They like going back to back, but not with losses, I'll tell you. In saying that, the Sharks have been on form. Nico Hines, Jeez, he's just been earning those daily in points. He's just been doing everything right and leading his team to where they are now. It's, what do I feel? What am I feeling? Because the Sharks, what would be better for my team? I'm going to be greedy again. If the Sharks lose, they go down 1. No, they don't. They'll still stay there. Because just like the Bro-Ra, I also hate the Panthers with a passion. They have hurt me and my team and my boys far too many times. And, I do have the Nico Hines, the old school Melbourne Storm boy there. So I'm going to back the Sharks on this one, and I'm going to... I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to lead with my heart, and I want the Sharks to win And I'm going to go, it's going to be something like 28-32. I think everyone's going to start scoring left, right, and centre. It'll be come down to that second half, who starts to fatigue more, who's put in. I think they're both going to come out firing on all pistons at the start, but it's who's going to be able to continue that into the second half, and who's going to hold out longer. Because I think they're both going to just be going at each other, but who can outlast the other team?
Yeah, true that. I do think, Thomas Hazelton or Tage Wilton will be two of the forwards to look out for to score for the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
If any forwards are going to score for the Panthers, you're probably looking at James Fisher-Harris, Liam Martin. I think Nico Hine probably sets up 3, gets over 1 himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just can't pick against the Panthers just because you hardly ever see them lose 2 in a row. But I wouldn't be mad if the Sharks won that game either.
No, sir, not at all.
All right. Well, look, heading over to the game no one's going to watch. 9:35 p.m. kickoff in New Zealand time for the South Sydney Rabbitohs hosting the Parramatta Eels at Accor Stadium, Sydney, home of the Parramatta and Wangal peoples.
Milo Wangal.
Please forgive me. My Indigenous whānau. Yes, so look, we've got fullback going up against veteran fullback in Latrell Mitchell going up against a young rookie, Blaze Talangi, and he looks great. Another problem that, similar to Melbourne, you've got over here, you've got Gutho, aging fullback, solid fullback, serviceable, been a diehard in that Parramatta colours with a new Blaze Talangi. But hey, I don't think loyalty means shit in Parramatta anymore because they just axed their coach the other day out of the blue. So who knows? Blaze Talangi might be staying. We do know Micah Sevo is off at the end of the year, potentially to Super League, which frees up, funnily enough, that wing spot for Zach Lomax to come into next year. So it doesn't look like he will be getting that centre position. It looks like he's going to be out there on the wing, taking over Micah Sevo's spot, which leaves Blaze Talangi in a precarious position. He has been in some sensational form over the past couple of weeks, being sort of one of the only people willing to really step up and make a move on this Parramatta side. Well, him, Hopgood, Madison is back this week, which means Cartwright has been pushed back to the bench. Unfortunately for the Rabbitohs, they've lost a lot of players through injury. Like we got Keon Kolomatangi playing lock this week. Also, they're going for a few more changes. We got Jack Whiten playing the 6. 2 has been asking for this for a couple of weeks now, moving Cody Walker to halfback, Whiten to 6. And that means Tane Can't Tackle Milne is playing centre. Be careful, everyone on the Eels, because he will take your head off. He does not give a fuck. He's one of the most reckless tacklers in the competition. Yeah, pretty much. There's a whole bunch of people in this Rabbitohs side that I've never seen before or heard of. Good to see Makahisi Makatoa still getting some game time out there for the Parramatta Eels. He's former New Plymouth Boys High student and played here for the Tigers. And I think he played for Marist as well here in Taranaki. So, yeah. Look, the game I don't really watch the Bunnies. I probably should watch the Bunnies because I need to see when their form is picking up, much like I did with the Titans. But, yeah. Basing it off of their last few games, I mean, the Cowboys aren't really a team that stand out as a threat to me, and for the Bunnies to get 22 points against them, I mean, it's the Cowboys. Hooray. The Eels, however, have been struggling, and their best game was against the Cowboys. And they won that one. So based off of that, I'll have to go with the Eels, and I'm going to go I reckon this will be like, 14-6 to the Eels. I mean, the Bunnies can score. We know they can score. The Eels can score. But I just feel like no one's going to have an idea of how to get over. But who knows? Well, actually, maybe I'll take that back. Sorry, I'm gonna go Bunnies just because
Renagging.
they've got. No, I just remembered that Whiten's playing at 5'8" and Walker at 7 instead of centre this week. So I think maybe that new pairing will change the outcome of this game. I even think I've got it on my TAB this week. Yeah, I've got South
Oh,
Sydney beating the
yeah.
Eels. Yeah, just because I don't know. Maybe that change up might give the Bunnies that spark of life they are desperately needing. Their last win came in round 3, I think it was, or round 2 versus the Bulldogs. So a
Oh,
long
jeez.
time ago.
Long
Yeah,
ago.
the Bulldogs gave them their only win. They should actually be winless, but the Bulldogs just found ways to give that game away, similar to how they played against the Melbourne Storm. So that's
Shout
my
out to.
opinion on this game. To be honest, I have no idea on what the score will be for this game because both teams I have no faith in. But yeah, Eels have
Yeah.
the better forwards. Rabbitohs have more to play for.
Ah, I see. I hear. Yeah.
And sorry,
It,
and the coach just being sacked, so that might also play a part in. I mean, this is the team of the. Sorry, this is the game of the sacked coaches. Jason
yeah.
Demetrio got sacked from the Rabbitohs like a few weeks ago, and now Brad Arthur, unfortunately, has been released from the Eels. So yeah, who knows? This is a game I could not tell you. Flip a coin, heads or tails, you pick.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I think looking at the gameplay, there's not much to go off on either side of the team, but going in terms of like all the dramas behind closed doors and off the field, it's definitely going to affect the teams. And like you said, it's the game of two the banished coaches, but the I don't know, the bunnies I think are going to possibly get their second win. Like you said, it's a flip of a coin. It could change on the day, but my money's on the Bunnies to come through with the win just because they just the Eels just lost their coach days ago. It's like, how are they going to hold together? They're either going to take this opportunity, this situation, and come together better and, play for each other and the boys, or more likely, they're just going to fall apart and have no structure, and then they're going to be trying to scramble. Not to say that the Rabbitohs haven't been doing that too, but I think they've been doing it a little bit longer than the Eels, so I think they'll have a slight edge, a very slight edge. But yeah, it could change at a drop of a hat. But that's currently where I'm sitting.
Oh, and also, I think with the Bunnies, they might have an added boost of enthusiasm this week now that they know who's coming to coach them next year with Supercoach Wayne Bennett
True.
returning to the Bunnies. So they might, pull their fucking heads in a little bit. But yeah, we'll see. And I hope when Jai Gray comes back, he's slotted into fullback and they shift Latrell to centre where he belongs.
Mm.
Sorry, Latrell, man. I hope we get you on the show one day, but I don't think you suit being fullback this year. It's just, I don't know, your intensity and your effort's not quite there for me to have you staying in that number 1 jersey.
I hear.
All right. Look, heading over to Sunday now. Suncorp Stadium, the home of the Brisbane Broncos, the home of
Ooh.
the Yagera and Turbo peoples. The Brisbane Broncos taking on the Gold Coast Titans. Now, Gold Coast Titans have been surprising a lot of people lately. They've been a team that's been able to compete with the best of them since Manly. Since the game against Manly, they've found ways to stay competitive and find ways to get wins. They've been, for me, the biggest surprise of the season. They've been able to show that it doesn't matter who they lose, they can still find ways to keep in the game. They almost beat the Knights last week, but almost doesn't get you points.
That's
So
it.
this week it will be a tougher challenge, but Broncos are still without Jesse Arthurs. They're still without Adam Reynolds. They're still without who off the bench? No, I think we've got all our forwards back. And we are still... Oh, now we don't have Katoni Staggs. He is playing with a broken rib that he picked up. But Kevy is giving him the week off. You can still play through a broken rib, but Kevy is giving him the week off to recoup and hopefully come back stronger, especially with Origin period coming up. And I think that's what Kevy's taking him out for, just in case he does get selected. He doesn't want another injury to occur. So instead we get Josiah Karapani back. I thought he was okay last week. He wasn't outstanding, but you can't be in your first game with this team. Reece Walsh back, the electrifying Reece Walsh. Everybody knows that. I love saying that. Here we go. The electrifying one, Reece Walsh, back to scintillate the crowd. He is exceptional. I know a lot of people cried last week over social media for Reece Walsh being rested because our teams had a fuckload of injuries and people who are paying I don't know how much to come only apparently come to see one player. Makes no sense. But hey, look, you live, you learn. Don't come to just see one player, come to see the team. If you're a real Broncos fan, whether or not he's playing. I remember last year I went to the game in Napier. You know who wasn't playing? Reece. No Payne, no Paddy, no Selwyn, all because all those boys were scooped up for Origin. They were there, but they weren't playing. And I got to see Tristan Saylor, which opened my eyes. I was like, whoa, he's wicked. I like him. I got to see Jesse Arthurs play. I got to see Jordan Ricky, I'm a big fan of Jordan Ricky. I got to see Herbie Farnworth play. You know, I still got to see great players. And as a real Bronco fan, it wasn't about who was playing. It was about the fact that our team won. That's all that matters. In an away game in Napier, our team won. I was going home wearing my shirt proudly. So, yeah. If you ever go into a game final, just remember it's a team sport. And at the end of the day, players' welfare is more important than you being able to. I know if you're traveling from far, you know, it sucks if your favorite player is not there, but that's the nature of the game. I'd much rather have Reece play us for the rest of the season because it gives us a chance to win, you know, or at least get to the semis. But if he's not there, if he's injured for the whole year, like Munster's going to be, it makes things a lot harder. So, Fano, you just got to bear with it in times like that, all right? You just got to remember there's actual people with a livelihood here. Now, back to these Titans. Man, I know for a fact that the Broncos are going to get up against the Titans in this game. It's a Sunday afternoon. We always play well on a Sunday afternoon. It's against the Gold Coast Titans, so they call it a Queensland derby, but it's not a derby unless you've won a premiership. So there's only two teams in Queensland with a premiership. That is the Cowboys and the Broncos. So unless it's those two going head-to-head, don't call it a derby. It's just a Queensland matchup. The return, no, it's not the return. It is the return of Kieran Foran. He's named on the reserves, so he's probably going to be a last-minute call-up, which is what I remember seeing in an article earlier this week. David Fafita is definitely going to be the catalyst in turning the game around for the Titans. If they're going to want to win this game, they've got to do it on the back of David Fafita. But what the Broncos have is we've got Payne Haas, we've got Paddy Carrick, and Billy Walters is back, by the way, from his small injury, which means Blake Moser gets pushed back to reserves. He is good, but I think, like everyone's been saying, he's super young, still needs time to develop a little bit more. So Tyson Smoothie back to the interchange, and Billy Walters back in their starting lineup. I still want to see Xavier Willison starting, man. Get rid of Corey Jensen, put Xavier Willison up there. I need to see it. It's good that Fletcher Baker's been dropped a little bit further down the list. He was not my favourite player on the Broncos side, but yeah, look, looking back at last year, Titans beat us in one game and we beat them in the other. Titans have been going loss, win, loss, and this could mean that they pick up a win. But the Broncos have managed to get the job done against every team that you would expect them to beat. When it comes to a top 4 team, however, they have struggled. I should say top 3 because we have beaten the Dolphins, but the 3 teams we have struggled to beat so far this season are the Panthers, the Roosters, we lost to them twice, and the Storm. So, yeah, I'm confident we'll beat the Titans. We'll go, what have they been scoring lately? Let's go Let's go Broncos to score a high-scoring game because they haven't done that for a little while. And Reece Walsh is back. Selwyn Cobbo's in the centres. Ezra Mam. And we'll just have Jock Madden steering everyone around. Let's go 34-10.
Solid score.
Also, I don't ever think I've picked against the Broncos this season. I've always picked Broncos every game.
Good man. Stay true to your heart. That's the one. Like you said, it's been on and off for the Gold Coast Titans. Broncos have been playing, doing their due diligence in those games where they should be winning or, they're favoured to, and they've been battling when they need to battle. I think this is going to be exactly the same. I think the boys, the Brisbane boys are going to come away with the win. I don't think they'll lose to the baby Broncos, the Titans. It's not that, just where they are right now with all those players coming back. Origin is always something to take into consideration coming around the corner. Whether either people are going to put their whole heart into their normal team and then suffer in Origin, or they'll save themselves and they'll pull it back. A lot of those boys are going to be playing, Reece Walsh, Selwyn Cobbo. So, and it hurts my heart because I don't want them to go hard out and injure themselves and not be able to play. I've already got enough players out of my damn team now, so I still think they're going to go hard. It's the first time in a while that they've had like the likes of Cobbo and Welsh back together. So I'm give it to the Broncos, and score wise, I'm thinking maybe 10-28, 10-28, I'm thinking. I think it'll be close for the start. A try each, and then the Broncos are just going to start running away with it. Once they get that momentum going forward and they start finding the line, it's all over for the Titans. They're not going to know what to do with themselves.
Exactly. I agree with you there. And I just think the experience of the Broncos, they just know how to get things done. And I think the Titans are still trying to find that identity. They are on the up and up, and I don't think it's going to be a walkover, but I just said that because it makes my ego feel good for my team. So, yeah. Heading over to the final game on Sunday, it is New Zealand's beloved Warriors at Go Media Stadium in Auckland, hosting the Dolphins. Is Te Pā o Rarotonga like the area that's in? I don't know Auckland well. I just thought it would have said Tamaki Makaurau, and it would have been the iwi of like Ngati Whātua, Ngāpui sort of thing, or Rākei. That's what I thought Auckland was, but apparently it's Te Pā o Rarotonga. But anyway, the Warriors take on the Dolphins. They had a surprising upset last week against the Penrith Panthers. I don't think the same will happen again this week, although the Dolphins struggled against the Tigers last week, and luckily, as Wayne Bennett put it, the Tigers are shit, so we managed to win. I don't think it'll be easy for the Dolphins to win this week if they don't bring their best, but there's still no Tohu Harris, so Dylan Walker's filling in at that 13. There's still no Kurt Capel, so you've got Mitchie Barnett playing in the second row, which means Bunty Fours playing that prop. Wade Egan is off this week. I think he's been injured, so Freddie Lussick is back in at that hooker spot. Timare Martin still filling in for Sean Johnson, who's injured at halfback. Chance Nickel Klokstad takes on that 6. But something to note, if this game doesn't go well, Chanel Harris-Tavita is back from that foot injury, which means if these guys don't play well, then Chance will probably go back to the 1. Timare Martin might stay 7 or 6, and we'll see Chanel Harris-Tavita come back in. Adam Pompey deservedly keeps that number 4 jersey, and I hope he keeps it when Roger comes back. I hope Roger goes to the wing and takes either Dallin or Marcelo off the team. I think Roger's better suited on the wing, and I like how Adam's been defending in that centre. Adam's played a lot more maturely this season, I think, is the word the way to word it, sorry. I like how he's been able to read the game. I like how he's been able to attack and defend. People were saying that he was the reason the Warriors lost 2 weeks ago against, I can't remember who they were playing. They were playing the Roosters, but I think it was because Ed Corsi was outside of him, and Ed Corsi was just getting burned. But yeah, over to the Dolphins. It's the second week for the Hammer, and he'll be looking to just get settled back in again. Origin is just around the corner. He knows his number's going to get called up, so he's just trying to get as match fit as possible because the Queenslanders will need him. He is a phenomenal player, and I think he would be put on the wing if Cobbo gets to play in the centres at Origin level, which I hope they at least give it a chance. Isaiah Katoa, one of the best halfbacks in the comp at the moment, especially for young halfbacks coming up. Great player. Love to see what he does. I think he's from Wellies, eh?
I believe so.
He is, from the Hut. But he moved overseas at a very young age, so he's New South Wales eligible. Max Plath
right.
back this week, and we're still awaiting the return of, what's his name? Flegler for the Dolphins, which means the Queenslanders are still with a very depleted forward pack in terms of regular starters. Not saying that there's no forwards available for Queensland to choose from. It's just you're not going to see some of the big names that you're used to seeing at Origin level for Queensland, especially in the forward pack. But they always pick next man up, and they always play harder for the jersey. They have a little bit more pride in that jersey. So I'm actually quite interested to see who they pick. But back to this game. I can't see the Warriors upsetting the Dolphins the way they did against the Panthers. The Dolphins look different this year. I don't know what it is about this Dolphins team, but they look a little bit different. They have high games, they have low games, but they sort of go on these little runs of about 4 wins, then a loss, 4 wins, then a loss. They've currently won 3 wins back to back, so I'm going with one more win, and they're due a big blowout. Sorry, Warriors fans. I'm still on the bandwagon. I just think the Dolphins are ready for that big runaway game. I'm going to go 42-18 to the Dolphins.
That's a difference there.
Yeah, I'm going with a hammer. Hat trick.
Damn. Okay. All right. That's a bit of a blowout there, ain't it?
Yeah. And hey, look, I hope I'm proved wrong like I was last week against Penrith, but hey, that's why we don't get paid on the show, bro. That's why we don't get paid.
I agree with you. It's going to be a good battle. These Dolphins, the Finns and the Wars coming up. Just like with the Panthers, don't like to lose back to back. On the flip side of that, when the Warriors win, man, they love to keep it going. Like, I feel like whatever they do it in threes, or in their case, fives. Lose 5. Maybe they're going to win the next 5. But I'm not saying that the Dolphins are a bad team or an easy team, but I think this is a good team for them to follow up, arguably one of the best team that they just beat. And now they're going for like a not mid-tier, but like, how would I put the Dolphins? They're still really new. They're still finding themselves. They've got great players and they're a good team. So if I put it like this, if the Warriors were versing Penrith again or Broncos or Cronulla Sharks, I wouldn't. They're going to lose. But this team, I feel like it's achievable for them to get across the line and to potentially get the dub. So I'm going to back the Wars on this on a slim chance, though. I think if they do win, it'll be a close one. I think, what do I want it? I think everyone's going to be scoring. Fido's going to be running down the middle and the sides. So I'm going to go 16-18. Scraping through with a win.
Okay. Well, I'll give you these stats as well. Warriors have only won 4 out of the 11 games this season, where the Dolphins have won 7 out of 10, losing only to the Knights. I think they lost, to the Knights, Broncos, and possibly the Sharks,
Sounds about right.
or the Cowboys. Whereas the Warriors have lost to almost everyone they've played. I think they've only beaten the Panthers. They lost to the Sharks, lost to the Raiders, lost to the Storm. Or did they beat the Raiders? I can't remember, but yeah, they've had an up and down season. But yeah, that's why I've just gone with the Dolphins. The TAB's got it being a 50-50 game as well. Both teams can win this game. Dolphins currently sitting in 4th and the Warriors in 13th. So, be a good game. Be a good game. I'll definitely be tuning in for this one.
The big difference,
Obviously, because it just follows along from my Broncos game. Probably watch this at dinner, to be honest. I'll go out for dinner and go to a sports bar and just watch this.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. So that rounds up round 12 preview with Tai Rawiri here at the practice run. Now we're going to go over to our donation segment where we just throw money away, I guess, every week so far. We've thrown money away at the tier. You know, the one week I didn't actually do head-to-heads was the one week I picked every game correct. It was round 10. Yeah, picked all the games correct and I didn't put any money on the head-to-head. Dumb cunt. I knew it would happen though. Always does.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah. But hey, it's why we do this, so you don't have to. You guys at home don't have to go through this misery. You can just pray and hope that I win this money, and every week you can be sad for me. But this week's TAB bets look like this for me. Do you have yours up, Ty? Or you've got yours written down from before?
Yeah, I've got it written down. You want to run through your ones?
Yeah. I'll go through mine. So mine's all head-to-head this week at the Iwi. So it looks like this. Bulldogs versus St. George, I've gone Dragons. Cowboys versus Tigers, I've gone Cowboys. Manly versus Melbourne, I've gone Melbourne. Raiders versus Roosters, I've gone Roosters. Sharks versus Panthers, I've gone Panthers. Rabbitohs versus Eels, I've gone Rabbitohs. Broncos versus Titans, I've gone Titans. And Warriors versus Dolphins, I've gone Dolphins. Put $10 in that, and it paid me out, if I win, $640.
Oh, money in the bank.
And for you?
I don't know, I can't actually find the page because I didn't write it down and it's in my phone. But basically, and I can't bring up the TAB, but my picks are...
That's okay, because he's currently recording on his phone and I'm on my laptop. So I'll punch in all the things. Are you just doing head-to-heads?
Yeah, same things.
Okay.
So for the first...
Yep, sweet as. You go through yours and then...
I went Bulldogs. What's the next game after that?
Tigers, Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. I went Cowboys with that. There's some tricky games in this round. It's just like, I really don't know which way it's going to go with a lot of them. And it's honestly betting.
Yeah, I think Tigers could win that game. Tigers definitely could win that one, but I got to go with the Cowboys too, at home.
They could. That's the worst part. I was like, I really feel like we're just throwing caution to the wind and just throwing it out there. Obviously, I'm going to be back in the Storm in the next game. It's just, of course, I am.
Yep.
Next is
Raiders, Roosters,
and sorry, who's the next game? The Roosters and
Raiders, Roosters. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got the Roosters for the win for that one. I'm pretty damn certain of that. After that, we have
Sharks and Panthers.
Sharks and Panthers. I'm backing Nico with the Sharks on this one. For the
all right. Rabbitohs and Eels.
Bunnies. We're going the Bunnies for that one, just because all the raru happening at the Eels at the moment.
Yeah, Broncos or Titans.
Even if I didn't like the Broncos, I couldn't. I'm sure the Broncos are going to come through. And I got your back, bro. Got you. Bro. Yeah, they really should win this one.
My guy.
I really think they're going to win that one convincingly.
They better. And the Warriors and Dolphins.
Up the Waz. Up the Waz. Gonna a slim win, but a win nonetheless.
$10 on that pays out $301.
Oh, see, that makes me think it's possible that all of those, because it's not too crazy. The odds are whatever in my favor.
Wow. Nah, see, one time I went all favourites and I still fucking lost.
Oh yeah, they're never locked in stone, but yeah, that's where I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Anyway, well, hey, that's great bets. Good luck. Good luck to me. I hope I win. Also, wanted to try this thing for our German fans. Please, if I get this wrong, forgive me. But hallo und Dankeschön. Thank you guys for your support. I hope I got that right. But yeah, well, we've just been seeing lately that we've had a few German fans. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening. We truly appreciate you. Dankeschön. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I have no idea. But yeah, do you want to say any final words before I wrap things up for today's episode, brother?
Yeah, just wanted to thank you for having us on the show today and being able to show my support for the Purple Pride, for the Melbourne Storm. Always good to get on any forum and talk up the boys and spit some yarns about them. But yeah, lots of interesting games coming up in this these weeks to come, and keen to chat a bit about Origin when it comes pre and post. But you'll just have to stay tuned for the next one. But thank you for having me, and thank you to 99 Dreams for allowing this platform to be out here, and so we can share all our yarns and content with the public and the people of Germany.
Yeah, man, we got fans in Germany. Well, friends. We call them friends, not really fans. I don't know why I said that, but we got friends in Germany, friends in America, friends in Australia. We had some in Russia pop up every now and then, and obviously here at home in Aotearoa. We truly appreciate it.
Near and far.
100%, man. We're going global. We're going global.
Mr. Worldwide.
Exactly. So yeah, look, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who tunes in and listens to us blabber on week in and week out. We drop 2 episodes per week, so if you tune in on both of them, thank you so much. It means so much to us. You guys don't even understand. But if you do, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your kids. If you don't like footy, tap into us. We'll get you liking footy by the end of the year. I guarantee it. We got you coming up with the latest news, all the gossip, all the hard stuff, the soft stuff, the good stuff and the bad stuff. We got it all coming for you guys, and it's only going to get better the more we do this. So thank you for supporting us for all 31 episodes so far. We truly appreciate it, and to all our fans near and far, we couldn't do this without you guys. You all of you guys are the reason we tune in each week. Huge shout out to Tai. Thank you so much for filling in for Tukuirangi while he was away this week. If you guys at home listen to the show and you know to, or if you've seen him, or if you now follow him on any platform, hit him up. Tell him, stop drinking, man. I thought you were on the fitness buzz. I thought you go BFT. You're a coach at BFT now. Why you drink so much?
Too much alcohol.
So give him heaps. Exactly. Get him back on the show, Fano. But no, he's actually doing great at the moment. He apologized. He really did want to be here tonight and the other night, but he will be back on Tuesday for Tuesday's episode. So hold your breath. He will be back. You'll have a familiar voice and someone who actually closes out the show. I don't close the show, bro. I give it to 2 and he wraps it up. So that's why I struggle with this. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah. This is 2's job. This is 2's job.
I felt when you
So
gave
yeah,
me
no,
that
thank
start,
you
I
all
was
so
like,
much for.
"Dude, where you at, brother?"
See, he's what holds us all together. He's what keeps this show running. But no, we are super thankful. So thank you all for joining us, for listening to the practice run. You're all part of the practice squad. Thank you to 99 Dreams for empowering us to continue doing what we enjoy. And yeah, Join us back again next Tuesday for more episodes and for a roundup of round 12 of the Indigenous round. But until then, stay safe, take care, chur to the chur, and ma te wā.